Good morning and welcome to the first Swiss Text Analytics Conference. My name is Cieliebak. I am chair of this conference and I'm really proud to be here in front of you. We have been working for 1 year now to organize this. It started in this room 1 year ago at the Swiss Data Science Conference, where we had a small event on text analytics with 20 people who did some interactive track. And then we said, well, it would be nice to meet them again, to see other people who are interested in text analytics. And so we set out, and I expected something like 30, maybe 40 people. I reserved a room for 60. I was really ambitious. And now I look at 170 people, which is really great. I like it. Have you ever organized a conference? It's an amazing event. It's something that you should do. It was for me at some times, well, it was great, but on the other hand, it was like having a first date at some time, waiting for replies. So I remember in February we had set up everything. We had a website, we had funding, we had a room, small room, okay. And we had even keynote speakers. What else did we have? Everything. Partners in academia. And then we sent out the call for participation. So we sent out to everyone I know an email saying you can come to us and join this conference. And then we waited and waited and waited and nothing did happen. For 2 weeks, I think. And I really got nervous because the conference without any participants is not so funny. I mean, that time was long ahead, but still I was hoping for my colleagues to register at some time. And then we had the first registrant. Now I don't see him actually. I hope he's here. Reto Kammensind? Yeah, there he is. I know him. And during the waiting time, I promised myself that the first one will get a huge chocolate. So I will keep this promise. Reto, good morning. So, you see, early registration is worth it. Yeah. And then we had participants, we had everything in place. What we needed were talks. I mean, we had some keynote speakers, 2 of them already confirmed. And then we sent the call for presentation. And this was the second time I was really nervous. Would there be a talk? And actually, there was not. So we had a deadline. It was 4th of April. That was a Monday. And on the Thursday before, we had 3 submissions. And I got really nervous. I mean, what happens with a conference without any presentation? I could do everything on my own, yes, but this is not fun. So I became an email spammer and sent emails to everyone I know, even people from school that I haven't seen in 20 years, hoping that they might know someone who wants to present. And I asked all our partners to send out emails again. And then the weekend came and nothing happened. We had 5, 6 talks. And then on Monday, it was like hell, and at the end we had 35 submissions, which is really wow. If you ever want to do a favor to a conference organizer, please submit early. Please. I mean, it's not really, yeah. It was not the worst time in my life, but it was like getting a child. Okay. Now, this conference is about text analytics, yes, and the goal is that you get some input from us, from the speakers. We have a couple of keynotes, a couple of technical talks, but on the other hand, we want you to connect among each other, that you know who is working here in Switzerland and in different areas of text analytics. So I would like to give you a little bit an insight of who is here, and I would also ask you some questions about who you are, such that you get a feeling of what is here around, what you can expect from this conference. First of all, where do you come from? This is the Swiss Text Conference. And basically, people are from Switzerland, but we also have some people from other countries, United Kingdom, Finland, Germany, some, because it's just around the corner, the Netherlands, Italy, and Turkey, I guess. I hope this is right. But most of you are definitely from Switzerland. Oh, sorry, I forgot Spain. Paolo, where is he?
Yeah, I'm originally from Italy, so you're fine.
Okay, thanks. He's so kind. And now, in Switzerland, where do you come from? Well, there's a huge bunch of people from around Zurich and Winterthur, of course, but then it's spread over all Switzerland. But still, I would like to have more people from the other areas of Switzerland. So next year we will have to push more in the other areas. Maybe send an invitation in Italian and French or something like that. So, we have different kinds of attendees from different areas. Let me ask you, who comes from a research institution? Please raise your hand. Okay. Now these are the institutions that we have. A couple of universities in Switzerland. Then we have Finland, if I looked it up correctly, Italy, Germany, Spain, and United Kingdom. And then basically half of the universities and applied universities in Switzerland, I would say. Okay? If I forgot someone, please let me know, because then I will put it in the slides to put it on the web afterwards. On the other hand, we have people from industry, and I would say there are two kinds of people here. Who is producing solutions, software, services, and offering? Could you raise your hands? Okay. And who is kind of a consumer who wants to buy solutions? Now, you check who raised their hand now, because these are the people you want to approach. So, raise your hands. Okay, so definitely more producers than consumers. Yes, sure. It's not so unexpected, because you want to know what you can do, and the consumers will probably just buy your products. These are the companies that are here. Long list. I think you find some very popular names on it, and some names that I actually have not ever heard before. Some international companies, some local giants. I'm very proud to have the Swiss National Science Foundation here. Actually, I would be keen to know who is it. Oh, maybe not here, or too shy. Okay. So, now that you know who is here, the idea is that you know people, and please look now to your left and right neighbor. Who knows both his left and right neighbor? Okay, now this is a chance to introduce yourself to your neighbor. Just shake hands, tell your name. Margaret? I think it may help you if you stand out at the coffee and don't have anybody to talk with. Just remember your neighbor, go to him and ask him what he's doing. Now let's talk about text. So this is text. When I prepare the slides, and I have always a problem when I talk about text analytics, I found out that text is very hard to present. Because if you want to talk about this, you have to actually read it. It's an article about the classroom. And if you want to talk about a particular place in this, well, you need to know the context, so you really have to read it. This makes presentations very hard, and you will see it during the day. Yes, you will see a lot of text probably. So I will insert some slides with pictures, like this, just to make it more entertaining. Text is easy, in a way, isn't it? It's well structured, everybody can write text, everybody can read text. We have a very small alphabet, depending on the language, 26 characters, plus minus some numbers and special characters. It's well structured, we have a grammar that we can write down, we have lexica, we have rules how to write text. Nice, isn't it? It's easy to store, we don't need any storage, we don't have any storage problems because it's 1 byte per character basically, so yeah. What is the problem? Well, it's not so easy if you look more closely. First of all, it's artificially constructed. Text is nothing that occurs in nature. We write the text, and if we write the text, we can do whatever we want with these 26 characters. So we can follow the rules, or we don't follow the rules, we can make errors, we can write in different languages, we can write typos, we can vary a lot, we can have different styles of writing, so text is not so trivial. And if you look at the literature, there is a huge amount of different kinds of text. So, on the other hand, text is ambiguous. Meaning, if you look at single sentences or short paragraphs, it's not so clear what they mean. I brought some examples just to show what it meant. Peter hit the man with an umbrella. Huh? Assume a computer should decide, what is it? Was it with the umbrella, or was the man carrying an umbrella? There are other examples. I collected some nice ones. This is a nice one, isn't it? Imagine the bacteria standing in front of the people talking. Or this one. You can really picture what they are doing. So, but this is something like constructed examples. There are more problems with text. Text is fragile, and I promised some pictures. So, if you look at this picture, I took half of the picture away, but still you probably can figure out what it is, right? Okay. So you can modify the picture and draw it in a different way, and still have an idea what it is. 2 people looking at the horizon. Do the same with text, it becomes very, very complicated. If you take, sorry? I have a new cat, and you switch one single character. You get, I have a new car. Totally different. In German, there's even an example with, das ist ein schöner Tag, das ist kein schöner Tag. Totally opposite. I didn't find an example in English, but if you switch a single character, it can change the content of the text immediately. So, it's very fragile to changes. If you move text around, you can do with pictures a lot of things that you cannot do with text. You can reduce the size of the picture and still have an idea what it is about. I mean, how can you reduce the size of a text and still have an idea what it is about? Take every second word out and guess what happens, you don't understand any word. Text summarization is so much more difficult than picture compression, because in picture you just have pixels. So, let's see, I have to hurry up a little bit. I'm talking too much. So if there are so many other topics, and there are other interesting topics like robotics and self-driving cars and playing Go, why are we interested in text? Well, basically because text is important. Everything that is important in our world is written down in text. It's the contracts, it's patents, it's your love letters, it's nice texts, it's written on your website, the profile of your company. You can add pictures, but if you don't have text, forget it. Nobody will see what you are doing. I have never seen contract with only pictures. So, probably. So, text is important. We are producing a lot of text. If we do it in seconds, we can type 5 words, each single person. If we take this together, and we write a research paper, then we publish in 10 seconds 0.8 research papers. All over the world, all researchers. Think about this. You have to read them at some time. Or we send 35 million emails. Now this was a number that I checked 3 times, because 35 million emails sent in 10 seconds means 35 million emails are read somewhere by someone. This contains spam as well. But even if you take only 10%, it's really a lot. On the other hand, we can read 33 words in 10 seconds, so we can keep basically up with writing. We can scan a paper in 10 seconds and do OCR and know what it is about. And then we have computers, and we can compute in 10 seconds something like 85 trillion operations. Now this is a lot, and this is the reason why we are here, because this helps us to keep up with this. I mean, if we have a good computer, we can hopefully scan all these emails and throw out all the spam that we are not interested in. How does it work? Just in a nutshell, you have a text, you have an algorithm, and out comes some information. Trivial, isn't it? Now, about the text, we have very different sources, medical research papers, patents, you can do whatever you want on the source side. And on the outcome, we are interested in various tasks, like sentiment analysis, entity extraction, which is a topic of the text, what kind of entities like company, names, locations occur, and then we have even text generation, machine translation, question and answering systems. So there's a very large variety of topics that we are talking about. And for all of this, we can basically apply the central part, which is analysis of the text. And, oops, sorry. So, and this consists of 2 parts. First is pre-processing. So we need to pre-process the text to make it machine readable easily. And then we have text analysis algorithms to really identify important information. And for the pre-processing, just some idea that this is not trivial. We need to detect in which language it is written. Okay, trivial. This is obviously English. Then we need some sentence splitting. Yes, the ball is blue, there is a full stop. But full stop is not so easy because Mr. O'Neill, if we take the full stop only, this would be Mr. second sentence, which we don't want. Then we have tokenization, which means we want to split the sentence into single tokens, single words. Yes, you can say wherever there is a white space, there is a new word, but then you have something like phone numbers, you have email addresses, which you want to have at once as one token. Next, you want to reduce words to their ground form, to their lemma, which is you take away all these grammatical endings like plural, the casus, genus, and so on. There are some. Then you want to throw away all these words that you are not interested in, like stop words, the, about, across, and so on. But only if they are not important. I mean, the President of the United States, if you throw off the away, this is ridiculous. You still want to have this phrase. And then you do some grammatical analysis. You can say the ball is blue, this is a determinant, a noun, a verb, and an adjective. And you can even do some syntactic parsing. All this is well established. You have solutions for that since 20, 30 years, and you get this information. Based on that, you do a text analysis, and currently I see there are 3 general approaches. The first one is rule-based, very classical approach already since the 50s. And I just spoke to one of our sponsors who said we do rule-based, and University of Zurich, I know, does a lot. That works if you have very well-structured text, like good written news text and stuff like that. If you have social media, all these rules don't apply really because people don't stay with grammar, and you need to find different solutions. And there machine learning comes into the play. And there are basically two approaches, machine learning and deep learning, which is a sub-variant of machine learning. And I want to just 1 minute about the two approaches, because they will occur in the talks afterwards. Machine learning, you have a couple of training data. So let's say you want to have sentiment analysis. You want to find out whether a document is positive or negative. You have training data, 10,000 documents, where you label by hand whether it is positive or negative. You take this training data and throw it into a machine learning algorithm, and out comes a predictive model, a mathematical model of what is positive and negative. And then, for a new document, you can take the new document, throw it into the predictive model, and out comes the label, is it positive or negative? Sounds trivial. What you need are good machine learning algorithms to do this, and there's basically hundreds of them. You need to select the proper one for your problem. So this is just an extract of Wikipedia, nothing done by hand. And it works. So the more training data you have, the better it becomes. On the other hand, there is now deep learning, which adds, in a way, another step, a pre-training step, where you teach the computer about language to get a language model even without giving any input. So you take a really, really, really huge amount of data, 1 billion tweets or something like that, you throw it in what is called a deep neural network, and this analyzes the tweets without knowing anything about what is the task. It doesn't know anything about sentiment analysis yet. And it generates a language model which says this word occurs usually in this context, this word somehow has a connection to these words, and this is an abstract model, a mathematical model. And this you can put then in addition to the normal machine learning approaches, and this improves. So very many text analysis tasks are now solved better with deep learning. And people guess that this will be the future, that deep learning will become more and more relevant in text analysis. But not everything is solved yet. One thing that we always need, especially for these statistical models, is the availability of training data. So we need large corpora, and we need good ones. If you don't have a good annotator that says positive or negative, but they just click somewhere, and you don't have good training data, and your classifier will be very bad. You need to disembed that. I found my wallet near the bank. You need to find out whether the bank is really a physical bank or this financial institution. You need to find out the cat is in the house. It is white, whether this it refers to the house or the cat, to really get to know what is the content of these sentences. You have to deal with irony at some time. What a great car, it stopped working after 2 days. Yes, this is not a great car, we know it. The computer doesn't, and this is something you will talk about probably. And finally, we need to deal with language that is not really language. I will try to read it out. Hashtag, you can't date me if you still sack your pants super hard, that shit is played the fuck out. I don't know what it is. So, if somebody speaks this slang, please tell me, because I always bring it as an example and I still don't know. I didn't find anybody who understands. So I don't know who read this and had an idea. Okay. Applications, what can you do with text analytics? There are these huge applications, like searching, Google, yes. Email spam detection. You can talk to your smartphone and this speech is translated to text and then it is analyzed and it does something for you, like sending a new email. Or machine translation. But then we had a couple of projects where we did some special engineering for solving customer or client problems, like newspaper segmentation. You're given a newspaper and want to find out where the boundaries of articles are, and this is text-based. You just analyze the text, the contents of the articles, and say, this and this paragraph don't match together, so they don't have to be in the same article. or social media monitoring, of course. You want to know what people are writing on Twitter and Facebook. It's used in marketing and customer support. Then you can do some company profiling. You want to find out which company has which products, which companies fit together, who is a customer, who is a service provider. You can even do something like drug analysis in Twitter. People are writing about the drugs they are taking, well, drugs in the medicine part, not the other part. And then you can ask whether they had some problems afterwards, and you can combine this and find out which drugs might have which adverse reactions. So this is a very promising future research, because this will make some of the experiments maybe super fluent. Now, this is the end of my talk, and since we are already short in time, I would like to give you a very short overview of the program. We will have a couple of talks today in the morning, then we will have lunch break out there, we will have break with coffee and stuff, and in the afternoon we will have 2 parallel tracks, so one in this part of the room, one in this part, so we will split it here, and then we come together after the poster session to hear the last keynote and the closing, and then there will be an apéro where you can stay as long as you want. I will go home at some time and take some sleep. Yeah. We have some partners and sponsors, and I would like to introduce them because otherwise we wouldn't be here. First of all, it's the CTI, the funding agency of Switzerland for applied projects, which decided already in December that they will fund it. And otherwise we wouldn't have started it in that way, because if you don't have funding, you cannot do this conference. Then we have commercial sponsors, 2 companies and 1 university who supported us. We have my university here, ZHAW, sorry you cannot pronounce it in English, ZAHW, no way, who is hosting us here for free and who is supporting us with infrastructure and people and stuff like that. And the Data Lab, which is the data science organization of the ZHAW. Then we had some 2 community organizations, the Swiss Association of Analytics and SkyCo, who helped us to publish the conference, and finally 8 other universities who are in the program committee, helped to organize, helped to spread the word. And I'm really grateful and thankful to all of you, because otherwise it would have been a very hard time. Today we will have a Best Presentation Award, so the speakers can get an award at the end, and you can select who it is. We have a feedback form, and at lunch and in the afternoon you are invited to give your feedback, just how many points would you give from 1 to 5, and in the afternoon session we will then select and award the best presentation. Keynote speakers are not eligible. Sorry. Now some organizational remarks. First of all, there is these WLAN keys, the wireless access keys. You saw them hanging around. Oh, no, they don't. I don't see it. Yeah, it's there. So hopefully it works. Then we have the camera team here. If there's someone who doesn't want to be on the film that we will put on the internet, just let us know and we will figure out any way to cut you out of the film somehow. Please, 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 please. Only if it is really important to you that you don't want to be in the film. Then this is something that I already missed. I wanted to say that we want to be in time. I am not, but please, after the breaks, be here in time such that we can continue and don't have too much delay. Final remark, there is bathrooms if you go out and downstairs. Yeah. Hopefully you find it. If you have any other questions, there is a couple of organizers here. That's Daniel Schutzbach, who is currently standing in front of the door and watching that nobody comes in. Then Bettina Wendt, who is sitting here taking pictures. And Simon Müller and Dominic Egger I don't see. So they are outside, they were at the reception. If you have any questions, just ask them because they do know, I don't know. Okay? And now, it is my pleasure to announce our first keynote speaker, Paolo. Paolo is very well known for his work. He used to work in, say, different fields of text analytics, NLP, and now machine learning a little bit, and also profiling, sentiment analysis, irony detection. He's professor at the Technical University of Valencia, and he came yesterday, and he brought the rain, because Spain is very famous for bad weather. And I'm glad to have him here, because he at first wanted to go to the other location in Zurich, and then finally switched to come here. It would have been an interesting talk for you, maybe. I'm very glad to have you here, and I would like to ask you to come to the front and start with your presentation. Thank you.